Hello everyone, welcome. Glad that you're here. Thank you for joining in and watching and participating. I'm Aubrey, and today I'm talking about a nutrition topic, and it comes up very often with my clients. I guess my question to you would be, do you ever find that if you're stressed out, or if you have a time where you just feel like, man, you just want to grab some junk or some chocolate or something that is readily available to comfort you in some way, be it at work or at home or whatever, okay? I've had multiple of my clients come to me and say, I find myself man, they've got a candy bowl at work, or I'm on the go and I just grab something that is comforting, but it's not supporting my goals. It's not supporting my health, my fitness, my wellness goals. So I'm frustrated. But in the moment, that's what I wanted and that's what I wanted to do. But ultimately, that's not. What do I do? And so we come back to the place where I like to really dive into this in a very functional way. So I like to ask why that happens. So what in that particular instance made you grab something that was just readily available, convenient, kind of comforting? Is that the goal? Was it comfort? Were you actually hungry, or were you just looking for something to make you feel full and satisfied and that kind of a thing? And that made me dig deeper into this concept of stress eating, which then led me to go to cortisol-fighting foods. So cortisol is the stress hormone that rises in our bodies whenever we get stressed out, okay? It's that fight or flight, and sometimes we flight to food, okay? It's a very comforting thing. I mean, we just had Thanksgiving, so it's very, very easy to understand that food can definitely be a comfort, but at the same time, if you have health and fitness and wellness goals that you're working towards and this sidelines you, it can be very frustrating and a very challenging inner battle at the same time. So what I started doing with my clients was helping them to direct those desires, those cravings, towards foods that are specifically anti-inflammatory. They're still very delicious. Maybe it's not the Hershey Kiss, maybe it's not the Reese Peanut Butter Cup, but it is more nutritionally balanced. It's going to support them more, it's going to give them more energy, and it's also going to help fight that cortisol level. So, that being said, I actually shared a couple of resources here in the post. You can scroll down or scroll around wherever it is here and find them. The first article I wanted to share with you is actually from Dr. Axe, and I'm looking it up here. Give me 1 second. He gives a lot of different, what would the term be? A lot of different ways to help to lower your cortisol levels naturally. So, he's talking about whole foods and anti-inflammatory diet versus, I would say, processed foods and, foods that cause inflammation diet kind of thing. So a lot of sugar doesn't really help. A lot of caffeine, alcohol. Actually, these things don't help us to relax our bodies. So he's discussing that, and then also just how to reduce and manage stress. He actually makes a point here on meditation or mindfulness. If that's not something that you've looked into before, I really recommend it. Just trying it. A lot of times, I'll give this example. Here was me before I said, well, let me try meditation. I said oh, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Ooh, it's fantastic. There are very, very basic ways to start meditation practice. And it's as simple as just actually, whenever you lay down in bed at night, telling your body, your specific body parts, to relax, to release the stress or the burdens maybe that you carried through the day, or the work that you did, that you outputted, and telling each specific body part to just sink down into the mattress. And that's one of my favorite meditations to go to sleep to, because, I mean, I start from head to toe, and I think I get to like my hips, and I'm out. So even on those days where it's hard to turn my brain off to go to sleep, I will I'll do this, and it's awesome. It's really fantastic. So there's a lot of different things. Just be open-minded to seeing what maybe could help you in terms of stress reduction and helping you to relax more. He's mentioning acupuncture, which I'm in support of, deep breathing exercises. How funny is it that breathing is so automatic, right? It's involuntary, we do it all the time, yet we forget to do it, in the sense that we're not aware of it. We just do it, but if we were actually to focus on it and just like count our breaths, right? Like, do that with me for 1 second, okay? Breathe in for a 2 count and breathe out for a 2 count. Ready? Like, your awareness of where you are and this exact moment goes way up. It's amazing. Next, spending time in nature or outdoors. Fantastic. We're basically in hiking season. I mean, hiking isn't necessarily, well, we're mid-Atlantic, Virginia, right? It's not really great in the summertime. It's hot, it's humid, it feels like pea soup outside. But we're in hiking season, and it's a really great time to go out and just go for a walk. Go to the park. It doesn't even have to be fancy. Just go out and get in nature, like put your feet in the grass, or just sit down and observe animals, creatures, critters, people. Just go out and kind of disconnect for a little bit. That's really great for stress. He then discusses exercising regularly. He goes into a little bit of using adaptogen herbs and superfoods, which I'm not going to go into today. I've heard really great things about ashwagandha, but I have not tried it yet, so that's the extent of my knowledge there. Essential oils. I'm a big advocate for my, I have a lavender oil that is just so relaxing. There is information in here on that. And getting enough sleep, which is also very huge. I had an instance, I want to say about a week and a half ago, where I was just really busy getting ready for vacation week, or staycation week. And I was so cranky. And I realized the next day that I was so cranky. I mean, like, one of those days where you're just, like, unhappy with everything. You know, like, this is wrong, that's wrong, there's a dish in the sink, I just stubbed my toe, like, all of these things. And I realized the day after, I was like, okay, you know what? The next time that I am that cranky, I'm not going to keep pushing myself. I'm just going to go to bed. So the value of sleep is huge. Lack of sleep brings out like anger and frustration, and we're not our best selves, right? We're not as creative as we could be. We don't have as much energy, obviously, and we're not as present in the moment and with others than as if we were actually rested. So getting enough sleep every night, it might be different for you. The average from age, I think it's 26 to 64, is about 7 to 9 hours a night. You might be an outlier and be able to do like 6 hours or 10 hours and be like, that would be your sweet spot. But pay attention to your sleeping habits and when you feel most rested, and try and get that amount of sleep consistently, like every night, okay? And then he then goes into what cortisol is. So, you know, what does it do? Keeps us awake and alert. By the way, side note, this was something that I learned maybe about a year ago or so, but if you've ever been awake past your bedtime and then like you get another rush of energy and then, you know, you can't get to bed, that is actually cortisol flooding into your body. So our bodies are saying, oh, you're still awake. Clearly there's some reason for it. I need to supply energy for this. And so your adrenaline goes up to supply that energy. And so like for me, if I don't go to bed before 10 o'clock, I will be up until 2. So I know for me, I have to be definitely in bed before 10 o'clock. unless I want to be up until 2 o'clock in the morning, because I'll get that second wind, as many of us would call it, and just be up for too much longer, and then get less sleep, and then be tired the next day. It's not a fun cycle. And the second article that I had shared here is specifically, it's by Mercola. He actually had written this one, and it's 10 best foods to eat for stress. And I loved this because instead of like making it this big like eat anti-inflammatory foods and take ashwagandha and yada yada yada, like I think that that's a really great overview, but then like, okay, great, eat anti-inflammatory foods. Now I need to discover what the anti-inflammatory foods are. So we've got green leafy vegetables. Turkey breast is great. We just had Thanksgiving, right? How relaxing is roasted turkey breast? Not the processed stuff from the grocery store that's the turkey meat, for deli, for sandwiches, but turkey meat, not processed, just roasted, that kind of a thing. Fermented foods. If you guys have ever had kombucha, kombucha is fantastic for many, many things, and they're actually going into that in this article. Salmon, blueberries, pistachios, dark chocolate, sunshine, not technically a food, but very helpful in stabilizing your mood. Seeds, avocado. I eat avocado every day. And then he actually goes into the sugary, starchy foods that are the worst choices whenever you're stressed. So number 1, guess what it is? Sugar. Okay, number 2, gluten. Number 3, processed foods. And that's usually, that's what a lot of us go to. And if we just kind of retrain ourselves and say like, okay, those things aren't actually supporting me, they're not actually going to make me feel better, like in the moment it will, but really truly what they're doing biochemically are not going to support me and my energy and the things that I need to do with my life. So what are things that I can? Can I eat a nice big salad with some avocado and turkey and blueberries, etc.? Something delicious like that. Just how can you change your habits to be more functional for you, to support you in your life? And I like looking at it that way, because it's not saying, well, this food over here is bad, so don't eat that. And this food over here is good, so you can eat that. And oh, by the way, you can eat as much as you want. Like, I'm not in any of those boats. I'm just saying, let's find out what works for you. Okay, this is what I do with my clients. Let's find out what works for you, because each individual is different, right? Some people have allergies to some of these foods. Some people cannot eat blueberries. I think that's a terrible fate. Kidding. But, we each have our own individual variables, and that's the power of having a personal coach in your corner. Talk to a nutritionist, talk to a wellness coach, talk to someone who can help you, I would say preferably holistically, so a holistic personal trainer, such as myself, I can help with that. Holistic nutritionist, holistic coach, something along those lines that will take all of your life into consideration and help you to make decisions that will sustain and support your life and your goals, okay? If I can help you, please reach out. And also, if you have some comments or thoughts on this, like if you have experienced like, yeah, like when I'm stressed out, I always go for the dark chocolate, and it's because of XYZ or whatever, like please comment, share this with somebody who gets stressed out at work and starts eating the candy that's been sitting out. I would love to talk with you all more, so definitely would love to hear from you. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Stay warm. I'll talk with you soon.